morning Babylon, and welcome to King Darius News. I'm your host, Quinton Quarantine, bringing you all the latest news from across the kingdom. Our top story this hour, the real Lion King roars. KDEN brings you exclusive news that Daniel, the highest official in the kingdom, has been thrown into the lion's den. Unconfirmed reports suggest his political enemies may have framed him. The king has ordered Daniel sealed in with the lions for the night, although there are rumours the king was not happy with this. Daniel, a popular official with both the king and many across Babylon, has been caught out by new religious laws in the kingdom. He awaits more official statements, but no one is expecting Daniel to survive the night. Is it possible? Could anyone get through a night with the lions? To find out more, we've asked our own Lucy Lockdown to investigate. Lucy, tell us, is it possible to spend a night in the lion's den and live?
Thanks, Quentin. I'm Lucy Lockdown, reporting for KDN News. So as we know, right now Daniel is in the lion's den. Will he survive? We don't know. So I've come here today to the Kingdom of the Lions to find out whether I, too, can survive in with the lions. So I'm here with a random passerby that I've just met. Do you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Teresa. I'm from Nottingham.
Hi, Teresa from Nottingham. So I'm thinking of going in with the lions today. What do you think my chances are?
Well, I like big cats and I cannot lie. I think you're asking for trouble.
You heard it here. So I'm here now with Cuthbert, the camel. Cuthbert, what are my chances? Sorry, can't hear you. I think he thinks pretty good. So I'm here with Edward, a zoologist, and I'm just going to get his opinion on my chances. So Edward, sorry to bother you while you're animal watching. Can I survive in the lion's den?
Yes.
I can. So I'll be safe?
Yeah, no.
No?
Yeah.
What do you mean I won't be safe?
They will eat you.
They'll eat me?
Yeah.
Bit concerned that they're not feeding the animals today. Oh well. So would you... I said... Okay, let me ask the question first. But would you go in with the tigers? I'll take that as a yes. So I'm here with one of the zookeepers, and I'm just going to have a chat with him about my chances of surviving in with the big cats. So, will I survive?
Well, that depends on the circumstances. If they've eaten something really sticky that's effectively dumped their mouth shut, you might have a chance. Otherwise, well, you probably be dead in a few seconds. So.
Dead in a few seconds. So I'm either looking for tigers eating chewing gum, or I'm dead in a few seconds. Thank you very much.
No problem. Good luck.
So as you can see, this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I'm very excited. Back to you in the studio, Quentin.
She's actually going in? Is she crazy? Well, thank you, Lucy, for that report. We wish you good luck, and it's been nice knowing you. Well, morning is approaching now, so we're going to go now to Tony 2 meters for the full story. Over to you, Tony.
Well, welcome. This is the last part of our story of Daniel. I hope you've enjoyed hearing about all his adventures and how he and his friends trusted in God. And this one is perhaps the most exciting of all. It involves lions, not nice cuddly ones like this one. Ones that are much more fierce and much more dangerous. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. Darius the king reorganised his kingdom. Daniel was so much smarter than the other leaders that the king decided to put him in charge of the whole kingdom. The other leaders got together to find something in Daniel's life that they could use against him. But they couldn't dig up anything. He was totally trustworthy. So they cooked up a plan and then went to the king and said, "King Darius, live forever. We've agreed that the king should issue the following decree. For the next 30 days no one is to pray to any god or man except you, O king. Anyone who disobeys will be thrown into the lion's den." King Darius signed the decree. When Daniel learned that the decree had been signed and posted, he continued to pray just as he has always done. His house had windows in the upstairs that opened towards Jerusalem. 3 times a day he knelt there in prayer, thanking and praising his God. The leaders came and found him praying, asking God for help. They went straight to the king and said, "Daniel ignores your decree. 3 times a day he prays." At this, the king was very upset and tried his best to get Daniel out of the fix he put him in. But then the leaders were back. "Remember, O king, that the king's decree can never be changed." The king ordered Daniel brought and thrown into the lion's den. But he said to Daniel, "Your God, to whom you're so loyal, is going to get you out of this." A stone slab was placed over the opening of the den. Then the king went back to his palace. He refused supper. He couldn't sleep. He spent the night fasting. At daybreak, the king got up and hurried to the lion's den. As he approached the den, he called out anxiously, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve so loyally, saved you from the lions?" "O king, live forever," said Daniel. "My God sent his angel, who closed up the mouths of the lions so that they would not hurt me. I've been found innocent before God and also before you, O king. I've done nothing to harm you." When the king heard these words, he was happy. He ordered Daniel taken up out of the den. When he was hauled up, there wasn't a scratch on him. He had trusted his God.
Good morning, Southwold. It's day 5, and it's Daniel and the lion's den. And what a story it is too. The new King Darius appoints a whole new load of governors and leaders, and King Darius clearly sees the wisdom and intelligence and integrity of Daniel and puts him as one of only 3 to rule directly over the rest. To the other governors, he didn't like Daniel. They didn't like him at all. And so they came up with a plan. And that plan stated, they came up with a decree that stated that whoever prayed to God should be thrown into the lion's den. We know the rest of the story, don't we? So how does Daniel respond to all of this? Firstly, he prays and prays some more. He didn't waver from this praying and being with God, even despite all the huge pressures he was under. Secondly, after Daniel was released from the lion's den unscathed, his attitude was amazing, because he could have easily been pointing the finger, angry, bitter at the people that had done this to him. He could have been confused with God, because actually he was put in the den seemingly for praying to him. But do you know what? He responded with forgiveness. He could have easily been very sarcastic to the king and say, "Wow, I'm okay, King." But no, his first words were, "O king, live forever." That's amazing. So the 2 main responses of Daniel was to pray and to forgive. Amazing.
Okay, so what can we learn from this story, day 5? Well, I've got a little game for you. If you can see this word, I want you to see if you can work out what the word actually is. Maybe ask your mum or dad, or your mum or dad maybe ask your child. Anyone got it? Okay, so the first one is, we can trust God. Daniel's God is a God worth putting our trust in. If God can close the mouths of hungry lions and keep Daniel safe all night, surely we can trust God with our lives. So first one is, we can trust God. Cheeky lion.
Cheeky lion.
Okay, number 2. If you're awake, this is the second word. Can anyone work out what it is? Anyone work it out? You getting good? The word is... Have a look. Prayer is powerful. Number 2. Okay, you'll have noted over the last 5 days that Daniel continuously prayed in all circumstances, good and bad. And in fact, in the story today, you hear he prayed 3 times a day, every day. Even when King Darius had made a law that he wasn't allowed to pray to anyone else but him. So we can talk to God any time of day. Not 3 times a day, any time of day. When we're in the bath, when we're walking to school, when we're on our own, when we're with our friends, when we're up a mountain, when we're on the loo. We can talk to God anywhere, at any time, and he will listen. So prayer is powerful. It makes a difference.
Cheeky lion. Hey.
These lions need to be down the pit again. Number 3. Okay, here we go. A trickier one. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Can anyone work it out?
Dum 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 dum.
The word is God is faithful. If you got it, well done, because that was hard. When Daniel was surrounded by those lions prowling around him in the pit, licking their lips, ready to devour him, God was with him. And when we feel surrounded by fear or hurt or sadness or worry, God is surrounding us with his love because he's faithful. So God is faithful. I want you to remember that. Cheeky lion! These are getting cheekier, these lions. We need to sort them out. Okay, last one. Have we got it? Anyone gonna get it?
Doom, doom. Doom.
Have your brains exploded? Is it too easy? I don't know. Okay, God saves. God saves. Right, just as God saved Daniel from the lions, he has saved us. How has he saved us? Well, God sent his son Jesus into the world, and he died on a cross to take all the things that we do wrong upon himself. And then he gloriously rose again from the dead. And that means he gives us eternity with him, a place in heaven. And God did that because he loves me, he loves Gav, he loves these lions, and he loves you. He loves everyone. Okay, and he wants us to know him. So God saves. Cheeky lions!
Cheeky lions!
Right, these cheeky lions. We need to call them back. Get these lions back in. Let's look at these. Let's look at these things. If we can get them back. Okay. So let's try and remember. We can decide to trust God. We need to remember that God is faithful. Prayer is powerful, and finally, and most importantly, God saves. Okay, and we can decide to faithfully put our trust in God, who saves, and we can do that today. He has the power to do wonderful things through you and through me if we let him. So we're going to say a little prayer now, and if you can remember, like we do on the beach, we're going to do the prayer drill. So our lions are going to lead the prayer drill for us. Stand in front of the camera, lions. Okay, here we go. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We thank you for the story of Daniel and all that we have learnt about you this week. We thank you that you are a good God who loves us very much. Please help us, Jesus, to put our hope and trust in you today. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you for listening today. We hope you've enjoyed day 5. We're going to finish off with a song from the new Ren Collective Kids album, and it's called God is the King of Me. So Anna's going to show you the actions before we play the video. So it goes, God is the King of the giants. God is the King of the lions. God is the King of the creatures of the deep. And God is the King of me. Okay, so if you want to do that at home, you can, or you can make your own little actions up. Feel free to join in. We hope to see you next year from the Hamiltons, and have a lovely summer. God bless. Bye.
My God's the king of the giants. My God's the king of the lions. My God's the king of the creatures of the deep. My God's the king of me. Have you heard the story about my friend King Dave? Wouldn't let the giant stand in his way. He said, hand me my sling cause he's not that tall. My God is bigger and I watch him fall. My God's the king of the giants. My God's the king of the lions. My God's the king of the creatures of the deep. My God's the king of me. Have you heard the one about this guy called Dan? Yes, he was a mighty holy praying man. They said throw him in the den of the scary beast. God say that he was from the lion's teeth. My God's the king of the giants. My God's the king of the lions. My God's the king of the creatures of the deep. My God's the king of me. This is more than history. He will do the same for me, like Jonah and the whale at sea. When I'm lost and afraid, all alone in the dark, you're with me. Oh, you're with me, yeah. My God's the king of the giants. My God's the king of the lions. My God's the king of the creatures of the deep. My God's the king of me. My God's the king of the giants. My God's the king of the lions. My God's the king of the creatures of the deep. My God's the king of me. My God's the king of me.
Well, welcome back to KDN. We're going to go back now to Lucy Lockdown, who was attempting to enter a cage with large cats in it. We hope she's still alive. Lucy.
There, kitty, kitty, no. Stop, stop, stop. No.
Well, thank you for that, Lucy. That was Lucy Lockdown, as always, putting herself on the line to bring you, our KDN viewers, the latest, well, I guess we can call it news. Anyway, what a night it's been. Daniel emerges from the lion's den, and once again his God has shown to be worthy of his trust. Once again, KDN is there to bring you all the incredible news stories from across the kingdom. What will become of Daniel? What does his God have planned for Babylon and the world? Will anyone else get to know this God like Daniel knows him? Well, this newsreader sure wants to find out. I have been your host, Quinton Quarantine. Stay beachy, Babylon.